Hi, I'm Marty Gilbert, and I'm the founder and CEO of the North Shore Executive Networking Group. And we have some very exciting news to announce today. We passed the 8,000 member mark in January of 2021, and that's a real testament to the fact that so many people are experimenting with a lot of job search techniques that are creating activity. But most importantly, we have more than 10 members landing new jobs every week during COVID-19. COVID-19, and that's one of the most challenging environments that many of us are going to face throughout our entire career. But what I want to talk to you about today is a question that I'm often asked by a lot of my job seekers. How am I doing in my job search? How can I grade myself? And am I making the progress that I truly deserve? It's a hard question for a lot of people to answer, but I'm going to give you 7 key metrics that I think will keep you on track and enable you to grade yourself with a scorecard as to whether or not you're making the mark. So let's start with number 1. Do you have an outbound marketing campaign? You absolutely have to have one. There's no question. You are the product. The paradigm has shifted. And we know that whenever we introduce new products, we go through the homework. Who is our market? How do we get to them? How many of them are there? And what are the online and offline techniques in which we're going to get our messaging to them? You've got to do the same thing with your job search because you've got to define who your audience is, and you can't resort to just online ads. Number 2, are you getting at least 1 interview a week? And that goes for COVID-19. There's no reason why you shouldn't be creating all kinds of activity that are getting you interviews. And I'm not saying you have to be getting a new interview from a different company every week. We know that oftentimes in companies, you're going to be interviewing with multiple people over multiple weeks, but you should be getting at least 1 a week. Metric number 3, are you getting at least 35 profile views every week of your LinkedIn profile? That's absolutely critical. You got to draw traffic to yourself. And the easiest way to do this is to go to your LinkedIn homepage. You'll see your picture in the upper left. Underneath that, it's going to tell you how many profile views you're getting. And it's a rolling 90-day number. So you can divide it by 90, and then you can multiply it by 7 and see whether or not you're getting 35 a week. Now, this is important because you need to treat your LinkedIn profile as if it's your e-commerce website. And we only sell products online when we're drawing traffic into our site. And that's exactly what your LinkedIn profile needs to look and act like. Metric number 4, is your target company list at least 20 companies long? It needs to be, because if you don't have a big enough company list, then you're not going after a big enough audience. And by the way, you've got to have at least 5 key influencers in every one of those firms that you're trying to pursue. And this goes to whether or not they have a job today or they don't. And more importantly is the ones that don't, because that's the hidden job market. And that's 40% of the jobs that are out there. So you absolutely cannot ignore them. And you've got to start with the hierarchy. What are the industries where you bring strengths? Who are all the companies that fall within those industries, and who are the 5, 6, 7 key people that you want to be messaging to with your outbound marketing campaign? Metric number 5, are you getting leads from your network? I know a lot of us have several thousand LinkedIn connections, but they are of absolutely no value if you're not enabling them to help you. And many of these people want to. They just don't know how. And a lot of job seekers, let's face it, are a little embarrassed about asking for help. There's nothing wrong with it, but you have to be very clear and concise on how your network can help you. Number 6, are you getting callbacks from companies that you've written to? This goes not only for companies that you've answered online ads, but all those companies in the hidden job market that you've written to that you think are in your sweet spots. You want to hear from these companies, and with an enticing email, with a strong resume, you can hear. And number 7, and it's a big advocate of mine, you've got to have email cover letters. There's no point in applying to online ads if you're just submitting resumes. That tells me that you are giving up. You're giving up to the applicant tracking system, and those software pieces, they don't get a vote. I've worked with so many individuals that I've coached that have been, rejected by an applicant tracking system within 15 or 20 minutes, and I've still been able to get them interviews because we go around the system. You got to get to the hiring manager. You got to get to their peers. You got to get to their superiors and anybody that's going to weigh in on a hiring decision. But it only happens with a strong email cover letter, because that does what a LinkedIn profile and a resume simply cannot do. It connects the dots between your background and that advertised job, or your background and that company and what you think they have needs for. But if you don't do this, you really are giving up to the 200 to 1 odds that a lot of people are facing out there with online ads. These are all curable, and I can help you with every one of these. Please feel free to email me at martygilbert1@gmail.com. I conduct complimentary coaching calls, and by all means, check out our website, nsenginc.com. The membership is free, and when you join, you immediately get access to 2 free webinar recordings, one that's 60 minutes in length on how to find a job during COVID-19, and the second one is me answering for 90 minutes all kinds of questions from many of my members on any different topic related to job search. So please, these are great resources that are available to you. And if you enjoy the group, get involved. And by all means, I wish you all the best in your job search and good luck with what lies ahead for you.